Welcome back to OTR. The Sunday Roundtable has assembled this morning, and joining us right now, Democratic political analyst Marianne Marsh and Republican political analyst Rob Gray. Great to see you guys. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So you just heard Senator Shaheen. She talked about Maggie Hassan. She seems pretty confident that she'll maintain her seat, but she also talked about the Donald Trump supporters still, or Donald Trump himself, still looking for someone running against Chris Sununu. What's your takeaway from all of this, Marianne?
Well, I think Senator Shaheen made it clear that Donald Trump wants to meddle in New Hampshire politics and here in Massachusetts because he wants to run in 2024 in the New Hampshire primary. And he's an equal opportunity offender, going after Maggie Hassan, the incumbent Democratic senator, who, by the way, pushed Chris Sununu out of a Senate race against her. And now he wants Corey Lewandowski to take out Chris Sununu, too, a Republican. So Trump is playing hard in New Hampshire. He won the primary there, didn't win it in the general election. Of course, he claimed fraud, which it was not. But Trump is playing hard and heavy politics in New Hampshire and Massachusetts as well.
What was your takeaway from what Shaheen said, Rob?
Well, Trump's a big X factor, not just in New Hampshire, but in other states. Marianne's right. He does want to get involved for his own purposes, his own personal reasons, not necessarily for the good of the Republican Party. I think Republicans fear Trump getting involved in a lot of these states, and Democrats, frankly, welcome it.
Next item, guys, these things. 2 weeks from tomorrow, Massachusetts cities and towns get to decide on requiring masks in schools, with Governor Baker dropping the statewide mandate. It's up to each district now in 2 weeks from tomorrow. Will we see them suddenly evaporate in classrooms on February 28th, Rob?
I think they're going to linger, unfortunately, Ed, and I think that's too bad. I'd like to see the governor and state education officials, I applaud what they did this week. I'd like to see them be stronger. I mean, who's to say that the health department in Watertown knows better than the State Department of Public Health? It makes no sense to have different regulations in different towns. I realize that's the way our state is set up. But this is flipped from, and I've been pro-mask, pro-vaccination for a long time. This is flipped from being protecting students to damaging students. It's time for it to end. The Archdiocese of Boston is getting rid of masks on the 28th. So should every other school.
Marianne, the governor said we have the tools, we have the know-how, we have the knowledge, we have the experience to fight it, so let's fight it, and it's down to the cities and towns.
But we don't have the leadership at the state level. That's the problem. It's not a matter of how the state is set up. It's what Charlie Baker decided to do. And his decision, let's be clear, was based on a date, not data, and public opinion and not public health. You know who got it right? Michelle Wu. And everyone should hold that standard. Michelle Wu said, 5% positivity rate, 200 admissions per day, and 95% of beds or less in an ICU. Everyone should use that measure. Some towns are going to match it, some aren't. Michelle Wu got this one right. Charlie Baker did not.
Michelle Wu's out of the mainstream now, Marianne. I mean, look at the Democratic governors of New Jersey, California, New York. They're all doing it. She's out of the mainstream.
That doesn't make it right,
Charlie
Rob.
Baker has been very, very careful with COVID. Trust me, as the father of students, it's time for these things to go.
Look, science and data is science and data. That doesn't make everybody else right just because they're doing it. And by the way, the very last one who should be weighing in on mask or anything else about healthcare is the Archdiocese of any place fill in the city.
Just to fill in the space, Boston has not lifted the school, will not lift the mask mandate. So
At least not
at least not right now, right?
So while mandates are starting to loosen up, proof of vaccination to enter the State House is likely if and when the doors open or reopen later this month. Does this make any sense to you, Marianne?
It's a no-brainer. It's a public building. It's public health. You pass laws about public health. Enforce the public health laws. I mean, we all have to show our vaccine status in many, many places now. The State House should be open. It should be able to process people. People should be able to show their vaccination rate, period.
Vaccine mandates going to the State House. Does that make sense to you, Rob?
700 days it's been closed. This is more about protecting lawmakers from having to go to work than it is about protecting public health. Frankly, 1/8 of the people, even if the State House is open, pass through there on a daily basis, as do an average mall in any city in Massachusetts. This is a joke just to help them from having to go to the office every day.
In the city of Boston, vaccine mandates are still required in restaurants and gyms. The fully vaccinated rate without the booster is about 80%. Again, that's the rate without the booster. It's 80%. Rob, is it time to drop the mandate altogether?
It is, and I'll tell you why. It's just theater. I mean, I could go in and show them a picture of my dog on my cell phone, and it would stand for a proof of vaccination card. Realistically, and the mask thing, it's when you're eating, it's off. I mean, it's really become silly. 15,000 people in the TD Garden without masks on. It's time to end. Michelle Wu is strangling the city of Boston, no question, by keeping it going.
Marianne, is it time to drop it?
Well, why not wait till 80% of everybody has a booster too? I mean, that was the difference between people not going into the hospital and or dying with Omicron. So I don't understand why we don't do that. And I think people are just thinking this is over because they want it to be over. Well, let's be clear. Almost 23,000 people in Massachusetts, the equivalent of the entire town of Winchester, are dead from COVID. A 7-year-old child, Cassidy Baraka from Groton, died this week of COVID, an only child. Okay, in Groton, died of COVID. So this isn't over yet. We might be done with it. COVID's not done with us. But it is amazing to me that elected officials and public opinion leaders are capitulating to a handful of people with bullhorns, and because people are sick and tired of it. Come on.
The public health stats show it. I mean, you're over the hump. If you don't get rid of these mandates when you're over the hump, then when you need to bring them back, let's say in 6 months with a variant, people aren't going to listen. That's the reality.
We're not there, Rob. The data says it. And again, 23,000 people in Massachusetts are dead, and 60 plus people die every single day, 7 days a week still in this state from COVID.